Welcome to the Fixie Lingo Rundown. We're gonna teach you, you Fixie noob, you fucking scrub, what Fixie tricks are called what. Because we're seeing a lot of misinformation running around.
I don't even know.
Sometimes we don't even know. I had to ask around. I had to ask a few Fixie experts. Not that we're not Fixie experts. And we compiled a nice solid list for you guys here. So we're gonna start with the TARCK stuff. We start with the basics, a track stand, where you just track stand.
You just gotta balance, use your fixed gear to go backwards and forwards.
You turn the bars a little bit, you go backwards and forwards a little bit. There's a lot of variations with the track stand. You can do a leg through the frame. You can do some weird push down stuff, which I don't know how to do, but Chase and Chris Thrasher know how to do it.
Check out Birdman Phil, dude. Check him out.
Yeah, he has tons of track stand tricks and variations that I don't even think have names. So we're not gonna talk about those, but shout out to you, Bird. I just bought Bootleg Sessions V3 and V4. They're awesome. We've got the very first trick everybody learns on a fixed gear, the skid, but not just any skid, the nuts to stem skid.
The best skid.
Also called a girlfriend skid. Why is it called a girlfriend skid? You can figure that one out on your own. Going into skids, you know, we've got the whip skid, which is where it's a little more advanced. You learn this after your nuts to stem skid.
The ultimate hot boy maneuver on a fixed gear bicycle.
You basically stay over your seat or hovering over your frame and you whip out your back end, but not with your nuts on the stem, which is why it's a little more advanced. Usually works better if you're going faster, and it actually helps slow you down. Macaframa used to do something really cool, all the riders in there, where they would do it one way, then on the next pedal set, they do it the other way. It's like a kind of deal. Very cool. I remember being really stoked when I learned how to do that.
That shit was mad sick.
Another kind of skid, I guess we call it a fishtail skid.
Ooh, where you just do a fat tire trail all the way down.
Yeah, you do it back and forth. Little skirt.
Definitely recommend the Randoneers if you're gonna try those.
I also used to see that type of skid in the Council of Doom videos a lot. So I personally call them like Council of Doom skids. That's a personal bias though. You could call it that. Fishtail skid, Doom skid. You can swap them out.
Just do a fat skid.
Before you learn how to wheelie, you gotta learn how to get that front end up. And that's called a pop-up. When you just get that front wheel up into a wheelie position while you're in a track stand. You can do it kind of the hood way, where you kind of pull it up to your nuts.
Do the big tuck up.
The big old tuck.
No lean, just full arm strength.
Or you could do it properly and stay back. You know, you learn how to pop up. Then what do? You learn how to pogo.
You just hop up and down on your fucking back wheel using your straps. Don't try it without straps, it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to pop it up without straps.
It looks really whack when you do it like that. Please don't do that.
A wheelie is called a wheelie. I don't think anybody is questioning that. And it's called a wheelie though. It's not called a manual. It's a wheelie.
Manual is for when you're on a device that coasts.
Yeah, but with us Fixie people, with the Fixie people, we can't coast. We keep going.
So it's a wheelie.
There's a bunch of wheelie variations though. You can go, you know, normal wheelie. You can go one hand wheelie, no hand wheelie. You could grab your stem. You could grab your frame. You could grab your tire. You could grab your rim. They don't really have any proper names. You just call them whatever you're grabbing. This is the classic Fixie fakie trick, or to get into fakie. We'll talk about fakies later. But an endo / nose press.
Very important. You just find any wall, any surface, and you just stick your front wheel into it and lift your back end up. And it just makes it so you can go backwards real easy afterwards.
Which at first will probably lead you into a backward circle.
Ooh, the ultimate maneuver.
Typically you do that before you learn how to fakie. Some people use it as a stepping stone into riding fakie. But I remember just like being able to do that, and it was like, oh, what? You can do 3 backward circles?
It's to show how good you were at riding your bike.
Bro, I hit 4 backward circles yesterday. It was dope.
Exactly.
It's fucking sick.
Freaking sick, dude.
We've been talking about fakie a lot. What is fakie? You don't know what fakie is? We'll tell you. It's just when you go backwards. It doesn't really count if you're like struggling, going a little back and forth.
Yeah, you don't want no Google searching that shit, bro. You don't want the Google search. You don't want to go fucking like you're a snake riding backwards. That's big whack. You want to go straight in a line backwards.
And you want to sit on your seat.
Yeah, standing up doesn't fucking count.
Doesn't work. You call it riding backwards if you want. I don't think anybody's gonna come and arrest you for calling it riding backwards, but
I
the
will.
proper term, we're gonna come to your house and beat the shit out of you if you call it backwards. The proper term is fakie. I don't see too many people doing these, but a leg over skid.
Ooh.
Very old school. It's when you take your leg, you put it over your bar, lock your back leg, and go skirt.
You might need a Zip 3000 to do this trick. It's almost mandatory. You gotta look fucking tight.
The ultimate 2008 look I'm sick hipster trick.
And if you're going down the hill, that's also sick points. It can also be coupled with the fucking any other skid. You could do leg over bar whip skid if you're a fucking beast. It all combos, you know.
With that, you could also put your leg through your frame and leg over skid.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Very dangerous. Scary.
That's a maneuver right there.
Yeah.
If you guys pull that off, make sure you tag us on Instagram.
@SuckMyCog. If you want to get real fancy with this shit, it's called a Milwaukee suicide skid. Maybe try it. We're not advising you to try it.
If you land it, do tag us,
But
please.
if you want to try it, go for it. It's when you're riding no hands, you're just chilling, and then you just push your nuts into the stem and do a skid without touching the bars with your hands. Also an old school trick, a DJ. It's when you take that pop-up trick that we just learned about and you spin the tire with your hand, like you're a DJ.
Definitely a cool maneuver.
If you want to get real fancy, you can do a turntable, which is like essentially a double DJ. You pop it up, spin the front tire, and then grab the back wheel. That's a little advanced there.
So the pole spin, this is the maneuver you see everybody doing. You wheelie up, you take your hand off, you're letting it all stanky, and then you go around a pole.
Pole spin, pole dance. So you've got your pole dance. Then you've got the pole spin.
You just smack your hand on the pole as you go past and you go into a Keo spin.
You could even do a pole dance first and then push off the pole into a Keo. Back into wheelies. SLUM Worm, aka Matt Reyes, mayor of Fixie Town.
Fixie goat.
The Fixie God. He's been doing this this new wheelie variation, which I've never seen anybody else do. It's like we could call it the SLUM wheelie. We call it a TBOG wheelie. It's when he's like chilling.
You just gotta chill. You gotta let your wet diaper hang out, though. You just fucking.
You gotta let your fat dumpy hang off the back of the seat. You're holding one hand on the bar, holding the seat, tuck back, and wheelie, and I don't get it. But
I can't do it either.
You know, SLUM can do it, so it exists, and it's a thing, so you should try it. A tough wheelie variation that's been going around is no hands, 1 foot wheelie. I like to call it a hang 15, because you're hanging 15 phalanges out there to dry.
Can't do it.
I've been trying to do it. Been trying to push it a little bit.
It's impossible.
And get like 2 cranks.
Don't try it at home. It's too hard.
Yeah, just make sure that wheel is not turned if you're trying it, because if that goes down, you're dead. Maybe not dead.
We're gonna go into the Keo spin, the ultimate classic.
Yep.
If you're a Fixie trick rider, you got this trick on lock.
Named after the greatest of all time, the late Keo Curry, rest in peace.
Such a goat.
He basically invented everything that we're talking about. It's when you're chilling backwards, you let a hand fly, and then you spin in a circle.
And the Keo is where you hold both hands on the handlebars. Keo spin is where you take one hand off.
Oh, is there a difference? I didn't know that, actually. We're getting into the most popular TARCK trick of this era, of this decade, the fish and chips.
It's so cool. You just you do basically a ground T-bog, do a fat carve, grab your fucking seat and stem, spin around in a circle backwards.
What you could do with the fish and chips also is pull it up and then turn it into a Keo, which is just like a fish and spin, I like to call it.
Very sick.
Or
very sick maneuver.
A fish and chip Keo. From there, you can go and do a big spin, aka a PROLLY spin, aka a blog spin, if you want to get real old school with it. Shout out to PROLLY is not probably. A big spin is where you're riding forward, carve, pop it up, and then pull it back. Basically a forward Keo spin. A foot plant spin, pretty self-explanatory. You could also call it a toe Keo. You get like a Tokyo.
That's pretty neat. I like that.
Keo spin with your toes.
I like that. We should change them.
It's officially called a Tokyo now, not a foot plant spin. But it's where you're doing a wheelie or you pop it up.
You just do a stanky leg. You do a stanky leg right on the ground, pivot in a circle, take your hand off. Looks hella fucking neat. You can go into like 1 foot wheelies from it.
Yeah. ultimate Fixie swag. Really ups your Fixie swag points if you can learn this one. A foot jam, very simple. You just jam that foot into the front. Make that back end pop up, roll out fakie. It's a creative way to get into fakie if you don't want to do an endo or a nose press.
Yeah, you ain't got no walls around you. Perfect maneuver.
Can your bike clear 700s?
Ooh, that's the ultimate question. 650 or hammer? 2 options. Not recommended on anything NJS for the hammer.
A pickup bar is where you lift that front end up and throw a bar spin.
One of my favorite tricks you can do is switch or regular. Right foot forward, right hand, left foot forward, left hand is your regular.
Not all your track bikes can do it. Not all your fixed gears can do it.
Just make sure you throw it really fucking hard and it makes the boom noise. That's how you know you're doing it right.
Yeah, you really want to dent that top tube with your drop bars. No, only do it if you got some riser bars. Maybe you got a BMX trick fork on there so you can clear it, or you got a 650C wheel on it so you can clear that frame. You've got the friction bar. This is when you go backwards and without popping the front up, you tap the bars a little bit and it spins with you going backwards.
Cool to do in backward circles.
Yep.
Very cool to combo with.
Like very first Macaframa promo where he just goes in a circle with like the bars going, which is insane still. Then you can get into a helicopter bar spin. You essentially do a half keo but toss the bars with it. And it's typically only considered like a helicopter bar spin if it's 2 or more bar spins. If it's 1 bar spin, you just did a bar spin keo. Alright, if you want to get real advanced here with some TARCK, this is another move named after Keo Curry. It's called the Keo Rock. Now it's where you mix a bar spin with a big spin. Whole lot of crank back. It's really hard. I've only seen a few people do it. We're gonna get into some surfing now.
Only try these when you're going really fast because it makes it way easier.
Chris Thrasher does these a ton. You jam your feet, right, into the seat tube and the down tube. Oh my god, just imagine this, but with my hands off.
A lot of the grind dudes had a piece of grip tape there just for this purpose and this purpose only.
And that was the ball hugs grip tape. Throwback. I call it the wolf drawn surf because that used to be his thing back in the day. Or you can call it just a frame surf. Whereas a regular just surf is where you're on the bars in the seat. Which is big scary.
Whole lot of commitment there. If you guys got that shit, you guys got that shit, but I sure as hell ain't got that shit.
Yeah, me neither. Just imagine this, but my hands are off also. Then the ultimate TARCK trick trick that only one person on a regular track bike has ever gotten into. And that's the death truck. AKA the Tyler Johnson wheelie.
Yeah, shit's so fucking scary.
I was trying it the other day. I don't think my bars are small enough, and I almost killed myself a few times. It's when you're holding the front wheel, you push yourself up on top of the bars,
and you're sitting on your head tube in a wheelie. It's like you go from riding your fixed gear bike to riding a unicycle. It's very dangerous. Shout out to Tyler Johnson for that one. All the artistic cycling people who do that shit with their eyes closed, with the 1-to-1 ratios. Nuts. It's just wild.